One of the biggest problems with AI-generated blog content is that there are little invisible, almost watermarks and telltale signals that places like Google especially will use to tell whether your content is AI-generated or not. And whether that actually affects the rankings in Google or other LLMs is yet to be determined. But I think it's fair to say it's best if we remove all of those when we get content from ChatGPT or Claude or even SEOMachine that I created, and take those out so that the content looks as human as possible, just because I think all things being equal, that's better. And today we're going to be walking through how we're going to add that feature into SEOMachine. SEOMachine, by the way, is free open source Claude project. You can download it, install it on your machine, and start writing tons of incredibly good. It's the best AI writer I've used, and I've used dozens of them, and it's entirely free. You hook up your Google Analytics, your Google Search Console, data for SEO to pull in information like you would get from Ahrefs, and it just writes incredible content, tells you what to write, repurposes content you already have. But it outputs AI-looking content sometimes, and it has these invisible characters and watermarks, and we're going to remove those, okay? So I have here on the screen originality.ai, and this is one of the tools that kind of grades your work to see how AI looks, and then it has tools to remove these special characters. I asked Grok about this, and it had a list of things that are kind of the telltale signs of AI written content. You know this as like the M dash for sure, but turns out there's a whole bunch more here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a component or a feature to our Claude Code project here to just remove and reformat all of those automatically. Okay, I'm going to be a good open source. I'm going to be a good open source contributor and create an issue in GitHub. So we'll give the issue a title. And we'll just describe the issue with using Super Whisper on the machine here. One of the big problems with AI-generated content is that it has almost invisible telltale signs of being AI-generated. The most common of this is the M dash, but there's a bunch of others that are listed below. The purpose of this issue is to create a scrubber or a cleaner to remove and reformat any of these telltale kind of watermarks of AI-generated content. So the content that SEOMachine outputs is clean and has almost no visible signs of being AI-generated. And so if you haven't used GitHub before, GitHub is where all of our code lives for any kind of project. It lives on your machine in Git, it's just version control, and then GitHub is kind of the cloud-based place where that lives. And I just create this as like a bit of a task manager, right? So this gives me information about what I want to do here. And I'll just take this, I'm sure there's a better way, and y'all just roast me in the comments if you want. So I'll start up Claude here, and I'll enter plan mode. So I'll say Shift Tab twice, and I'll paste this in. Okay, and so I'm just going to go back over here and get this list from, okay, so we can at least get these. And then I'm going to say, as necessary, replace things like M dash with a comma, an ellipsis, or a semicolon, as you see appropriate. Okay, so try to give it as much context as we could here, basically saying like, hey, we want to generate a way to clean and sanitize all this content that we created. Try to give it as many specific examples as we have, because I was just thinking about this, is the problem with a lot of AI content is not context. I don't think it's intentionality. You know, I use this term with our team a lot of like the tail wagging the dog, right? Like you say, hey, I want to go build a thing. I want to go build a house. And it builds you a log cabin, which is a house, right? Instead of like a McMansion, which maybe is like what you want. Both are true. But you might look at it and say, oh, you know, I really wanted a McMansion, but the log cabin's really nice. I'll just take that. I think that's the biggest problem with AI content is like, it's not wrong. It's just not what you wanted. And so I'm doing a lot of thinking about like, hey, I want to be intentional about the direction that I send AI into, and then it's context to keep it on that path. They're not the same, and you can't have one without the other. So it's not really prompting. The AI tools are really good at prompting now. It's context to keep it on that path, but it's intentionality to give it that definition of good. This is just a business thing in general. It's like definition of good is the most important thing us as business leaders can have is what the heck do I want you to do? What the heck do I want you as a employee or you as an AI machine to do? And that's intentionality to me. Okay, so we're in plan mode here in Claude Code. This is doing thinking and coming up with a strategic plan. At the end, it will give us either just a plan or it will have clarifying questions for us, and we'll kind of tab through several different tabs to answer questions that it has or pick between options that it would want to have us pick. So like, hey, how do you want to handle this situation? Do you want to have like a placeholder or something like that? I can imagine. Before I can create a plan, I need to clarify a few implementation details. This is where it's going to say like, hey, do you want to do this, or something else? And it'll give us a few of those in like a set of columns. Cool. So in the comments, I would love to hear if this is the right way to do this. I think you create an issue, you solve the issue, and then you close it with a pull request. I think that's the way. But I'm trying to be a good open source citizen and steward. So please tell me if I'm doing this wrong. Okay, cool. So you see it's given us these set of 3 questions, basically. What should the AI watermark scrubbing happen in your workflow? I want it to happen every time. I don't want it to be a separate command, and I don't want it to be part of optimize. So I'm going to hit enter to choose that one. How should M dashes be handled? You mentioned replacing with commas, ellipses, or semicolons as appropriate. Smart contextual, analyze the sentence structure, replace with most. Yep. Should this scrubber also clean existing content or just new content going forward? Just new content. Cool. Okay, so really good questions. I gave it something kind of directionally appropriate but vague, like replace as appropriate. And very rightfully, this is where I like plan mode a lot, is it gave that direction we were just talking about just a little clearer. So we're building a log cabin that's 1,200 square feet, right? It's not just build me a log cabin that's 6 by 8 or whatever. So I really appreciate that. And then it'll come back with a really detailed plan, and we'll review it, and then we'll make it. Okay, so auto content scrubber, removes visible watermarks, has all of these. Smart M dash replacement. Yep. Callable as scrub. Ooh, cool. Okay. Great, so it's creating a slash command for us too. Integrate into workflow, add scrubber step before saving to drafts, smart. Test content with all targeting Unicode, verify M dash replacements, make it. Cool, awesome. Okay, so got a lot of feedback on comments in the channel recently about like, hey, I like the marketing content and I like seeing you build stuff. So trying to kind of fuse those two together here. Would love to hear feedback from you on this, like, is this right? Is this what y'all like? Do you like the 12 free AI Google products you like? Or do you see me actually working on a project like this that actually means something and is cool because it's open source and you can just go see it over here? Let me know in the comments below, like what y'all like. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Doing some cool things for subscribers soon, which will involve community. But you have to be subscribed. So you can't get access to this stuff if you're not subscribed. So if you haven't yet, subscribe today. It also just makes my day. We're going to hit 10,000 like today or tomorrow, and we'll have a big old party. I'll probably live stream something, unless it's Halloween and I'm drinking beer, and then I won't. Sorry, but I might tomorrow because it's Saturday. I might get up early and live stream something for everybody. Cool. Okay, so this is working here, and this is good. Like we're just going to call this good. I don't need to wait until this is done. This is how I go about planning in Claude Code, and using like plan mode and in GitHub to plan a new feature. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Is this cool? Is this what y'all want? Is this lame? Good, bad, indifferent? Let me know. I'm Craig Hewitt. This is 100 Days of AI. Today's day 91. We're almost there. And I'm just going to keep going. After 100, I'm just going to keep going. I might get a whole year. We'll see. But I'll see you tomorrow.